Coming up on NFL Daily, the trade rumors are back again for Odell Beckham. They'll probably never go away, but I actually don't think they make that much sense. Some trade rumors that do make sense revolve around Antonio Brown. He is meeting with owner Art Rooney this week. Will that cause some changes, and will he get his demand of a trade granted? And then finally, Colin Kaepernick's lawsuit has been settled. He got paid. Is he going to come back to the NFL? Probably not. All that coming up on NFL Daily. Hello friends, I'm Tom Downey. Let's dive into some of those NFL rumors, and we'll start things off on the Odell Beckham front. And don't mind me if I hop on the rant train here, because once again, we're doing the Odell Beckham trade rumor. We've done this for like a year and a half now. Jay Glazer goes out, calls a bold prediction that Odell Beckham is going to get traded, has a meltdown on Twitter, starts calling people fucksticks because they were not very nice to him, and we're back once again. All the same stuff. The Giants only saved $5 million by trading Odell Beckham. The dude just signed a 5-year, $90 million extension. I know it's lying season, and we should never take NFL teams at what they actually say and should look beyond the reasoning behind it, but the Giants say that they're not going to trade Odell Beckham. And yeah, he can be a hassle at times, but he's still a really, really good wide receiver, and the Giants don't get better by trading him away. The only reason you do it is if you don't think you're going to compete during Odell Beckham's contract. I have a tough time thinking that's where the Giants currently sit. So I'm not really buying necessarily these Odell Beckham trade rumors. Sometimes I think trade rumors pop up around players that fans, reporters, whatever of other teams want to see get dealt. Now this next part of the Odell Beckham trade rumor is stupid. There's no other way to go about it. First off, hot take master Chris Sims says the Giants were going to trade Odell Beckham last offseason. It was a done deal. They were taking all these offers. He was a goner. Then the Patriots really, really wanted Odell Beckham. They were making a hard push for him, and that made the Giants go, wait a minute. Maybe we shouldn't do this, and we shouldn't trade Odell Beckham. And the quote from Sims was that the Giants realized that Odell Beckham was better than they thought he was. So apparently, this entire rumor is built on the idea the Giants are as dumb as a box of rocks. That's what is being reported here. Because apparently, the Giants didn't realize they had a premier NFL receiver in Odell Beckham until the Patriots wanted him. That's asinine. Are we really going to believe the Giants were that stupid? That the Giants didn't realize Odell Beckham was a top 5 NFL receiver, and that because the Patriots wanted him, the Giants went from saying, God, we should trade Odell Beckham, to giving him a massive 5-year, $90 million contract? That's idiotic. But we're going to believe it because we want to see Odell Beckham traded to our favorite team. It doesn't make any sense. So what should the Giants do with Odell Beckham? I think I've made it fairly clear. You keep him. You build your offense around him. Yeah, he's expensive for a receiver. He can be a headache. He's a damn good player. Speaking of headaches, how about Antonio Brown? He's going to meet with Art Rooney this week for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he has formally requested his trade. And Antonio Brown, I think this is on purpose, by the way, is tanking his trade value. Every time he gets in the headlines for a tweet, for a comment, for off-the-field stuff, his trade value goes down. His contract, fairly team-friendly for the next couple of years, is worth a first-round pick. That's what Pittsburgh reportedly wants back. They would have to eat $21 million dead money. In a bubble, his trade value should be super, super high. It should be a first-round pick and probably change. But with everything Antonio Brown says, all of his posts about wanting to play for the 49ers apparently, it continues to find a way to hurt his trade value. Now, in terms of the top destinations, here are the top 4 here at Chat Sports. The 49ers, number 1, for obvious reasons. The Colts, they make sense, as do the Jets, and maybe even the Raiders, if they want to go on, they can certainly offer more than most teams out there in terms of a trade package. So Antonio Brown, look, I bet on him staying with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but a trade could very well go down. Now, speaking of that bet, I made my bet at BetDSI, the internet's number 1 sports book. You can bet there too. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code LIVE120 gets you a 120% deposit bonus. Put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. Put down $100, it becomes $120. You guys will not find a better betting deal out there. Let's talk more Steelers here. Le'Veon Bell, who might get the transition tag, which kind of feels almost like pettiness from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh apparently wants to transition tag him, then try and trade him because their overall fear is that if we give players what they want with a new contract before their time is up, they got like 3 years left or whatever, or we let Le'Veon Bell win this and get to free agency easily, then what's to stop other players from doing it? Problem is, a trade would require Bell to sign the tag, which he might not just ever want to do, and some risk here for Pittsburgh is that they get nothing if they tag Bell and he signs an offer sheet that Pittsburgh doesn't match. Now, of course, they could rescind it, but that is a possible fear there for Pittsburgh. And oh, by the way, you now have a potential war between the NFLPA and the NFL. The transition tag could be worth $14.5 million or $9.5, depends on how the arbitrator decides. How do you impact Bell sitting out last year? If you say it doesn't count at all, then it's 9.5. If you say it still counts as a year, it's 14.5. So that's something to at least monitor. More tag talk, Jadeveon Clowney. Now, Peter King says the Texans might wait on a long-term deal because they want to see how Clowney reacts to big money, making that more than $1 million per year, and because they don't think he's a worker bee like others on the team, which I find interesting because he's had great production. And if you're worried about the money side of it, yeah, it was a contract year, which I think is what he's kind of going for, but Clowney made over $12 million per year. Is the extra 5 to 6 going to suddenly make him Albert Haynesworth? If that's your fear, okay, fine. Don't let that get out, because this is more of a motivating tool than it is a nerfing your value, because if you're going to feel that, then just trade him. Tag and trade him. So I don't really know what's going on there with Houston. Injuries are a concern there. I think that could help nerf Clowney's overall value. He's not worth as much as DeMarcus Lawrence per se. But the way Houston's handling that is rather interesting. Now maybe they are trying to go with the DeMarcus Lawrence route in terms of his overall value. Let me know what you think he's worth in the comments section. Feel free to DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney if you want my predicted contract for Clowney. Now we just mentioned DeMarcus Lawrence there. The Cowboys and Tank want to get a long-term deal done. That should not be a surprise to literally anyone. Like, that is the most obvious thing outside of the fact the sun's going to come up tomorrow morning. Now, a tag could still happen before free agency because the Cowboys aren't dumb. You can't let Lawrence hit the open market. If he does, a team like, say, the Colts or the Niners or the Jets or the Raiders are going to say, hello there. You want Khalil Mack money? Here's $24 million guaranteed. Or per year. We're just going to throw money at you. That's why if the Cowboys can't get a long-term deal done before the start of free agency, you tag him and you use that extra time to get a deal done. And unfortunately for NFL free agency, there could be several notable franchise tag candidates that aren't going to hit the open market. Nick Foles could be a tag and trade, which I think kind of violates the purpose of it, but that's what the NFL is going to do. Grady Jarrett, I don't think he's going to leave Atlanta. D Ford, Frank Clark, plus Clowney and Lawrence, and Landon Collins, and Grady Jarrett too. There go like 7 of your top 8 players in terms of free agency. Kind of brings it down to not quite levels like you see in the NBA. Now, off ball here. Who do you think is faster? Is it me or Mitch? Type M for Mitch, T for Tom. Maybe we'll do some fun videos for you guys with the NFL Combine coming up. But let me know in the comments section who's faster, Mitch or Tom. Move now to Colin Kaepernick. The collusion suit is settled. It's over. We're not going to hear about it again, right? Yeah, we all know better than that. Now, Kaepernick's lawyer, who is not an NFL guy by any means, says he thinks there's going to be NFL interest. Mentioned by team name, the Panthers and the Patriots said there was a third and then never actually mentioned that third team. Here's the problem with Kaepernick. I think it's fair to assume that dude got paid by the NFL, a big sum to settle that collusion suit out of court per se, or at least before the court finished. The problem is, he's also a 31-year-old quarterback who hasn't played in the NFL in several years. I think it's fair to assume the window's over for Kaepernick. I don't think NFL teams really want players that just got paid by the NFL because of a collusion lawsuit. Of course, I guess Eric Reid did as well. Hasn't played in the NFL in quite some time. So will Kaepernick play again in the NFL? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If he does come back, I actually do think the Panthers are a decent enough fit. Let's go to Cincinnati now, where the Bengals, we sit here on February 18th, still searching for a defensive coordinator. That ain't good. They have missed on multiple targets. part of the reason Sean McVay's worked out so well in LA is he got Wade Phillips to be his DC. The Bengals have missed on Jack Del Rio. They've missed on Don Capers. They missed on Vance Joseph. They missed on 2 college guys in Todd Grantham and Jeff Hafley, and they also got blocked from interviewing Aaron Glenn. Look, you're supposed to be formulating your free agency and draft plans right now. And the Bengals don't have either because they don't know what their defensive scheme is actually going to be. That's a really bad sign. So who do you think will be the next Bengals defensive coordinator? Let us know in the comments section. They reached out to me. I said no as well. Bengals not in a good shape right now when it comes to their next defensive coordinator. And one last note here for the NFL, Marquise Brown underwent surgery for a Lisfranc injury January 8th. That's not a good sign. He's going to miss his combine and his pro day. I had mocked him to the Oakland Raiders in my last one. That might not end up being the case there. Lisfranc injury for a speedy and slender receiver. That's not a great sign, but we'll see what happens there around Marquise Brown.